Welcome, Rayanne. I'm going to read your bio. So Rayanne Haines is the writer in residence for the Metro Edmonton Federation of Libraries. She is the author of The Stories in My Skin, Stained with the Colors of Sunday Morning, and Tell the Birds Your Body is Not a Gun. She hosts the podcast Crow Reads, is the VP for the League of Canadian Poets, and teaches with MacEwan University. She is an Edmonton Artist Trust Fund Award recipient. Her poetry and prose have been shortlisted for the Canadian Authors Association Exporting Alberta Award, the John White Memorial Essay Alberta Literary Award, and the Stephen G. Stevenson Poetry Award. She has had work published in journals and online in Canada, the UK, and the USA. Welcome, Rayanne. I'm really excited to hear you read.
Oh, thanks, Corinne. I have to say I started getting quite emotional at this event because there's so many people here that I know that I haven't seen in so long, like Josephine, and even hearing Jean-Jacques, who I haven't seen in person in so long. It's really special to read here with everybody, and to see Lisa, who I only ever see on Facebook, so lovely. So thank you, Stephanie and Corinne, for inviting me and asking me to come and share some stuff. I will say up front that my work, I do need to give trigger warnings for. My work does deal with a lot of interrogation of grief, looks at depression, looks at suicidal behavior, and also is new work currently looking at cancer and death stories. So just so we're aware, that's what the topics I'm going to be sharing around. I will read a few from this book, which, is right now up for the Stephen G. Stephenson Poetry Award, which was quite shocking to me for a little book that was written simply to interrogate grief. So I will start with this first poem. Don't fall for imitation pearls with exotic names. In the room where my father hid his most important memories, a box sat in the corner filled with my great-grandmother's pearl and silver. The items wrapped in white tissue paper and flat cotton, packed away before her death, these false mementos of stature, the silver chipped, pearls flaked, still more precious than gold. Treasures gifted by a husband she married while still a girl in braids. Her skin darkened by the sun, hands already calloused from working the land. In the room under the stairs where my father hid these things, dust coated the walls and the boxes mother forbade us to touch. In the same room, my mother stored laundry detergent, cat litter, the good holiday ornaments. Mother would say, knowing an object is safe is more important than having it on display. Objects hold memories, you see, and father only had a few. My sister and I would wrap our necks in these remembrances when left unsupervised, or hide under the stairs, dreaming of husbands gifting us with rubies. The jewelry I own is spread haphazardly across my dresser, items found on travels to countries my great-grandmother never visited, but maybe wanted to. Who knows? I never met her to ask. All my memories are wrapped in whirlwinds of adventure, all of them worth far more than the cost of a plane ride, most purchased on the side of a road. I wonder if my sons will hold them dear. I often dream of a house overlooking a valley, built by my great-grandparents' hands. I dream they'd sit on the porch sharing whiskey and cigars, both covered in dust, great-grandmother reserving her cleanliness for Sunday morning when God and parish paid attention. This refuge, hewn by hard work before the city moved in, when the midnight moon was a cotton ball and coyotes outnumbered people and the world was small and we knew how to love each other. Behind their house now, there is an Esso station. In front, a 5-story brick apartment. People's memories stacked upon each other like cardboard boxes. My great-grandmother, only ever a ghost to me, is buried in the graveyard half a mile away. Her baubles still hidden under the stairs, my mother still protecting them. After my son considered death an option, I stopped eating meat. The idea of death, of swallowing it, became so abhorrent to me, I could no longer eat an animal. I don't want my body to be a boneyard or a church. I rub my belly in the night still, thinking of birth and open wounds and lesions and how I have no more pretty left. I am heavy-breasted, a fat-lipped truth. I do not look at myself dying in the bed. I do not clutch rosary. I rip my secrets from my body with scissors and bleach, so sure of the meaning of revelation, so sure this act will make me unhallowed. I want something sacred to find me, to mark me, because yes, I met death on the basement stairwell. I met death in the bathroom mirror. I need to prove I am more than this fractured body, this bleached, sterile body held together by sinew and grief. Looking for a sale on rug cleaning products. Your appointment is scheduled for Wednesday. Under the bed, the rug is discolored with cat vomit. Your sweat stains the bed sheets, your clothing, your skin. Your son says he thinks everyone has cancer inside them. Her hands are warm as she lifts your breast. As per instruction, you wear no deodorant, no lotion. You don't tell your mother or friends. Your husband forgets and you don't remind him because you'd rather do this alone. The lesion is the size of a dime. The machine squeezing your breast is cold. She tells you to relax your shoulders. Your son asks you if you are dying and you tell him no. The point, my friend. Today, the moon wanted the sun's face and the sun wanted the moon's smile, so they traded places. At least this is what I told myself while dreaming of tying rocks to my ankles after eating eggs and rum for my 4th breakfast. If I stayed under long enough, surely the sun would change her mind and let me drown in shadows. Turns out, a body can't hold its breath as long as the moon. Turns out, trying to die without dying is messy business. Yesterday, the neighbors I don't know heard me screaming on the beach. And now I have to apologize on behalf of the sun and the moon and my anxiety lemoning the sky, because no one enjoys seeing an unkempt life. And I, wearing a head-to-toe raspberry pantsuit, have to go on living. I'm going to share a couple of new pieces that I've been working on to go along with this, this material. These new pieces are really looking at the in-between spaces that we as women inhabit. As a woman who is on the 48 on the crest of 50, I feel like I'm inhabiting a lot of those in-between spaces. And so that's what I'm really studying right now. This piece is called What Kind of Daughter? What kind of daughter? My mother leaves her door unlocked at night. One dog at her feet, one dog on her lap, cat perched along the back of the sofa. During chemo, she posts animal memes on social media, has buried a dozen pets in the backfield and all her parents in cemeteries. To live that long, to be too young. One day we will bury her. We'll inherit her pets before we are ready. Woman of oak tree, what kind of daughter does not stop? 1,000 mothers and 1,000 daughters who have done this before strain to hear the answer. Turn head from sky in wondering, turn observation from ambition, duty, feet paused. How long do we live paused? We must answer questions we are shamed for asking. Death sits early at the door, waiting. Woman with the pale heaven eyes, what kind of daughter does not pause? My mother lives loud and hard. 40 horses in the back 40, 20 stalls that need cleaning in the front. 1 million little girls dream the life she is living. 1 million farmers' wives with broken knees and skin like Naugahyde know the work she puts in. Mother of mountain and boulder and skipping stone, to sit in the meadow, wheat grass and girlhood against my back, to taste the salt of my maiden name in river water, to lay still in the stillness, to lay still. The sand at the river's edge, the sparrow in the lilac bush. Generations dig roots of raspberry stalk, bodies blemished with the color of crabapple, mustard seed, lavender, the coffee that smells like my grandfather, the bread on the windowsill, the sage and thyme left in the garden, the time. To be silent in this, to find ease. Mother of rock, what kind of daughter writes poems that feel like endings? And I just have 2 more. This is, I think my time is okay. This is How a Daughter Folds. Sorry, I just need to adjust the line. Okay, How a Daughter Folds. Through consumption, in measured beats, because of repetition, needles from nice men and nice ladies cyaniding the blood. 1. That time the boy's hand dug inside my panties and I kept silent because I was already complicit for lying there. These are the instructions we've been given. 2. The Jordache jeans with the zipper from front to back and how they were the it style before rape culture had a name. 3. Teen magazines with articles about the best sex positions and 7 reasons why he cheats on you when I didn't even know the slang blowjob because my parents didn't know how to talk about that stuff or wouldn't talk about that stuff for fear my sister and I would turn into sluts. And then Tammy came to school dressed in that bright green miniskirt and red lipstick and we all decided to hate her and see she slowly faded away and no one said a thing because being her friend meant you were like her. And one day Tammy wasn't in school anymore and Jason said it was because she got pregnant, but I still didn't know how that actually happened. And I asked my friends before forgetting to keep my mouth shut and Jason laughed in my face and called me frigid and my friends laughed and called me a baby. So I went home and asked my mom, but dad overheard and screamed that he wouldn't have a slut in his house. So I cried into that teen magazine and learned being a good woman meant being silent. 4, because I could have loved Jenny. But good girls don't love good girls like that. 5, that time my brother fought back and no one ever thought to expect a fight from me, least of all myself. 6, Botox and butt implants, but like natural, you know? 7, porn culture and purity culture and how we're supposed to look like one but behave like the other. 8, income inequity. 9, because the worst thing to call someone in North America is a cunt, yet I'm still expected to give it up for your convenience. And my final poem is called A State of Armed Conflict. A state of armed conflict between different nations. Daughter of gut and blood and sinew, of bold and becoming, of banshee scream. When you are asked to dim, when you are asked to bend, to break into pieces for their amusement and condemnation, spit instead. Do not ensure pettiness and politeness like the good little girl you were taught to be. Daughter of shit thrown in your face, of stiff back and stiff upper lip, be immense, be sensual, sexual, call it a pussy, call him out, call her your lover, grind when you are asked to gird your loins. Daughter of no expectation and even less opportunity, this is where you careen. Car crash into their belittling. Drive with one hand, the other slung across the back seat, jeans low on your hips, lips poised on fuck. Love hard. Be unyielding in your ambition and your desire. When they come at you with their too pure thoughts and their pitchforks, do not capitulate. Bare your breasts and your brain. Become what they fear. They of the too big dreams and their too small worlds, you are not small. Daughter of you've got big boots to fill, wear spiked heels, gold glitter, thongs that slide up your ass. Remind them they can kiss your ass. Daughter of the damaged pretty people, get ugly, get sweaty, stink up the room, smudge the grit on the bathroom floor into the cracks, suck back a cigarette and call it lunch, aim for strong as a bull, swig whiskey from a paper bag, be. Daughter of wanton and wanting, want it all. When they tell you to shrink, show them the biceps you gain from lifting chains off your back. Choose your lovers the way you choose your wine. Drink deep. Daughter of it sounds like you have big plans. Leave your little town with its little people and their little debt portfolios. Rack up the credit card. Buy a boat and sail the seas. Hike Nepal or Stanley Park. Daughter of goddamn I want you, let them beg. Take your clothes and your armor off. Only you own your skin. Take up burlesque. Lay naked under the willow tree. Read a porn mag while you write the PhD. Daughter of mine. Your story will not always be the same. In the mornings that come after this and the mornings that come after those, you will laugh out loud, shape your name around a bullet and fire back at everyone who decided your worth before you'd even begun. Thank you. Thank you very much.